All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make an animated door open that you can interact with in RPG Builder. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to create a new empty object. I'm going to call this door. Then from here, I'm going to drag this out and just drag my door inside of that. Then I'm going to grab, I don't need this. Then I'm going to grab my box collider, and I'm going to put it on this parent level. So I'm going to click paste component as new. So now I have a box collider around this door, and I'm going to remove my box collider that was already on my door. Then from here, we can begin building out our animation. So when we're on the door, you're going to go to the animation panel. If you don't have this open, you can go up to Window, Animation, and open this up, or hit Control-6, and then put this panel wherever you want. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to create an animation clip. So I'm going to call this open. I'm just going to overwrite one that I was working on before. So once this is opened up, now we're going to begin creating our open animation. So I'm going to click Add Property. Then from here, I'm going to add the rotation because that's the only thing I need to change to make this door open. Make sure I'm recording to set my value here closed. And then from here, I'm going to go to about 30 seconds and we're going to make the door open here. So to do that, I'm just going to change my Y axis on my rotation. We're going to make this 175, so it's going to open inwards a little bit, just like this. Then these values over here, I don't need, so I can get rid of them. And that's it for the open animation. So now we have an animation where it looks like it's opening. So the next thing we need to do is the exact opposite of that. We need to create a closed animation. So we're going to start here at negative 175 and finish here at negative 89.999. So to do that, I'm just going to simply click here and click Create New Clip. And let's call this Close. A close animation. Then we need to make sure that we're recording. We're going to add property again. We're going to add the rotation. And instead of starting here, we actually want to start at negative 175 for the close because we're closing it. Then when we get to 30 seconds, we want this here to be at negative 89.99. So that's the closed animation. Then I can go ahead and delete these. And now if we loop through this, we should see that it's closing. All right, so once we have our animations, then the next step is to set up our controller. So I can get there pretty easily just by opening up this drop down and clicking here. So now we're going to set up our controller just like this. So we're going to go to the open animation, and from the open animation, we want to make a transition to a closed animation. So when it's open, we want to close it. When it's closed, we want to open it. Then we need a parameter. We're going to use this parameter to trigger this animation. So in the parameters tab, I'm going to click the plus button and I'm going to create a trigger. And we're just going to call this open close. We're going to need that later, so we got to remember that name because that's what we're going to use. And then we got to make sure that we set the conditions of when to trigger this to that new parameter that we just created. So now this is open close. Okay. So once this controller is set up, we're ready to go back to the door itself and start setting up the interactive node. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we can go back to our scene, go back to our door. I want this door to start closed. All right, like that. Oh, I think I just added an animation. That's why that was partially open, because I was still looping through the animation. So we can stop that. All right, so now our door is where we want it to be. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here on my door object, and I'm going to add a component, and I'm going to add an interactive node. The type of node that I want to add is a Unity event, and then I'm going to create a new event. Then from here, I can take this animator, and I can drag this right here. So that's the animator that we just created on this door. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up that trigger. So I'm going to go to Animator, Set Trigger String, and I'm going to name this exactly what I named it here in the trigger. So open, close. Oh, so that's important that we get that right. So open, close. One other thing that I need to do before I forget is I need to go to those animations that we just created, and I need to make sure that they're not looping. If they're looping, when we trigger the animation, they're just going to start looping back and forth. So I'm going to turn those off while I'm still thinking about it. All right, and then go back to our door. Now from here, you can set up these settings any way that you would like. I'm going to make the use distance a little bit further because I sometimes have trouble with that with the box collider. And that's really, oh, I'm also going to name this door. So we see that. All right, so that should be it. I believe that my animation is now set up. We've got it set to player interactable. We've got our script. We've got our box collider, our animator. Everything looks right. So let's go into the game and test it and see if this is working. All right, so if I walk up to this door, we can see it's saying door. We see the E. Click E and the door opens. Let's go in, click E, the door closes. It appears like this animation is working just like we want it to. So that's how you set up the open door using the interactive node with RPG Builder. All right, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.